Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another of my patented COMC rummage videos. So you know the drill, there's a stack in front of you here of 20 cards that we're going to look through in this case that I picked out hand-selected singles courtesy of my favorite site on the internet to buy cheap singles for my collection, COMC. So these, as is always the case, entered my collection in various different orders over the last few years. Have a giant like 3-row monster box where I keep all my incoming COMC cards, and then I just pull from the box at random to do a video like this and then enter the cards into my collection proper afterwards. So let's just get right to it. Pulled a full 20 here today, so we'll see if we can keep this on the shorter side, and I'll try to keep the gabbing to a minimum. I'm going to start off with a hockey card. This is sort of a bizarro Hartford Whalers card for my collection. It is an Upper Deck Exclusives parallel from 2019 flagship Upper Deck, which are always serial numbered out of 100 copies. In this case, number 82 out of 100. This features Dougie Hamilton of the Carolina Hurricanes, who play as the Hartford Whalers, or at least have in recent years for a game or two each season. Of course, the Whalers moved down to Carolina and became the Hurricanes after the 1996 season wound down. And so I guess the Hurricanes are sort of a continuation of the Whalers franchise, although I no longer really follow that team or consider myself a Hurricanes fan. But if I can get a Hurricanes card that features the Whalers uniform, such as this one, I will pick that up any day, especially if it's a rare one like this Upper Deck Exclusives, numbered out of 100, that was available for a pocket change. I'm going to get into some shine now, which should surprise nobody. A lot of my COMC pickups are shiny. And here is a 2015 Topps Chrome Pink Refractor of CC Sabathia, member of the 3000 Strikeout Club, and in my personal opinion, future Cooperstown Hall of Fame inductee. And of course, I don't really need to explain why I would grab any Topps Chrome Refractor. Love all of those parallels, especially the 2015 release, so happy to get that one into the PC. Next up, a basketball card. And I think I have a couple basketball cards looking through today's stack quickly. The first one features Pistol Pete Maravich on the barbershop pole parallel, I guess you could call it, from Panini Prism. Again, obvious why I'm picking this one up, but I am working on a Z folio of basketball cards, though I don't really consider myself a collector of the sport. Definitely saw the movie growing up and was a fan of Pistol Pete, and so was happy to scoop this one up for pocket change. Just a nice looking shiny card to go into that Z. And those just look really, really gorgeous. Love the job that Panini does with their Prism parallels. So pretty cool. On a basketball note, definitely in the market for a 71 Topps Pistol Pete in a PSA slab. Hope to add one of those at some point. Do have a couple of the other big names from that set and slowly working on that set. And Pistol Pete, I think, is the biggest name that I'm missing. It's not his rookie card. It's like a third-year card or something, but it's still a tough one and one that I'm looking for. A couple now of my favorite, or one of my favorite 21st century pitchers, Justin Verlander, pictured here in the early part of his career with the Detroit Tigers. And this is a beautiful X-Fractor out of 2014 Topps Chrome. So always looking for opportunities to add cheap Verlander cards to the PC. I think he's going straight into the Hall of Fame when he hangs up the spikes, and rightfully so. So nice X-Fractor there. And then another of my favorite types of shiny cards, Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition, which in this year, especially 2019, they're basically atomic refractors. They don't even have any blue tint. They're just straight up atomic refractors. Gorgeous card here of JV, of course, from his time with the evil, hated Houston Astros, but a beautiful card there. And again, that was like $1.25 or something like that. So big fan of Sapphire at that price point especially. Here's an Allure hockey parallel. This is a red of Patrick Kane. And I think it's actually called the Red Rainbow. Yep, you can see on the back here. This was dirt cheap, like 35 cents. Pat Kane, arguably the best American-born player in NHL history, or certainly in the conversation. And obviously a Blackhawks card looks really, really nice in this red rainbow format, which is like the same effect that I've seen on cards that Panini refers to as like Pulsar, but really catches the light nicely, and I just love a good team color matching parallel. Here's a cool one that I just bought because it was totally fun. Throwback to the 90s. From 1995, UC3 Hideo Nomo Clear. And you can see this is sort of a combination of two things that I love. It's got that lenticular sport flicks type technology where we change from a portrait to an action photo as the card is tilted. But on top of that, it is also an acetate, at least to some degree, card. I have no recollection. I was collecting in 95. I do remember this UC3 set pretty clearly, and I loved a lot of the inserts, but had zero recollection of this card or this insert set when I stumbled across this on COMC, and immediately added this one to my cart at like $1 and change. Just a really cool card of somebody who, it's hard to describe if you weren't in the hobby in 1995 or 94, 95, just what a big deal Nomo was. But he was a huge name and had a pretty decent career, but was just one of the hobby darlings, I guess, in the early to mid 90s. So I just enjoy picking up his cards on the cheap today. Here's another hockey parallel. This is from the 2008 Upper Deck Champs hockey release. And these yellow parallels fell at 1 per hobby box. And I am foolishly, I started this years ago and I probably wouldn't do it now, but I'm trying to see it through, working on the 100 card yellow parallel complete set, and needed this Cam Ward. These are just brutally tough to find now as box hits all these years later. I don't think this is a product that Upper Deck made a lot of necessarily. So happy to cross another name off the list, and oddly enough, the second Carolina Hurricanes card in today's video. Here's a baseball card that I bought just because it's so fun. So this is Dustin Pedroia out of Stadium Club, and this is all about the giant oversized glove. It's autographed by the team. You know, obviously this one's kind of extra humorous because Dustin was known for his small stature, which you know, makes the big glove look even more dramatic here. I just think this is a fun card. I don't care that it's not worth anything. This is the red foil parallel, which of course is a nice touch for a Red Sox card. And just an example of kind of just being silly and having fun in the hobby. I love those kind of gimmicky cards. I'm just a sucker for those. Next up, one for my 59 top set, which I've been working at for years now. I'm not in a major rush, and I'll take cards that I'm missing in any condition. Do have this in a binder. I checked recently. I think I'm at about the 2/3 complete mark. With quite a few stars, so maybe I'll get there someday after all. But this is from the Baseball Thrills subset, Roy Sievers, and it's the Sievers Sets Homer Mark action card here. So these just have cool paintings on them, and then you get a nice write-up on the back. Pretty cool. 25 home runs that he hit in 1955, establishing a record for the Washington Senators. A nice set need there. That always feels good to cross one of those off. Here's a rare parallel. I've shown the Albert Pujols from this set that I got PSA slabbed. These are really, really nice. I believe Topps did these only in 2013, and annoyingly, maybe only for Series 2. So, you know, those team set collectors out there, you'll notice that you can only get half your team set, I think, in these parallels. But these are called like Silver Slate Blue Sparkle parallels. They were some type of like redemption exclusive or something like that, but they look really, really cool. This is Daniel Nava, who's not really a name that commands any attention in the hobby, but this was just a cool, cheap, shiny pickup for the Red Sox PC that I'm always sort of chipping away at. Here's another vintage 50s card for a set build that I'm working on, 1955 Topps. So did really commit to trying to focus on the 1950s this year as far as my hobby goes and my experience in the hobby. It's my favorite decade for baseball cards, the golden era of baseball cards. And of course, there are no longer any Cleveland Indians cards being produced. They are now the Guardians. And so this is a nice 55 Ray Narleski. It's in really good shape. This is exactly what I look for my set build. You know, cards that wouldn't necessarily grade like a PSA 8 or anything, but have good, strong visual representation, you know, lack holes or writing or major creases. That's a perfect card for me. Nice clean back. I love the backs on these cards, these oversized beauties. So needed number 160 for that set build, and happy to add that one to it. Here's one that collectors in the late 80s, early 90s will remember, Action Packed. So they didn't exist for long, but they made these really cool 3D embossed cards. And you can kind of see as I tilt this Roberto Clemente in the light that it is embossed off of the card, and just really neat. This is like a some type of a promo or 40th anniversary card, but just I thought it was neat to get an embossed Roberto Clemente. Just kind of a nice oddball addition to my collection of a man that I really, really admire. It's hard not to. I do have some vintage Clemente that I'll be getting to on the channel at some point. He's someone that I would love to complete a playing era run of his Topps cards at some point, but I'm sort of focusing on Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron first, but I do expect that Clemente will be in that next wave if and when I finish those two gentlemen. Here's another baseball card, modern one this time. This is a Devers rookie. Really excited to see how he performs this year. Dude absolutely crushed the ball in limited preseason appearances for Boston in spring training this year. And someone who, based on his young age and already significant home run tally and RBI tally and double tally, have high hopes for the remainder of his career. And of course, as I've mentioned numerous times now, is going to be part of that powerhouse Boston Red Sox infield in 2022 that also features my favorite players, Xander Bogaerts and Trevor Story, the recently acquired Trevor Story. So this rookie card from 2018 is the factory set retail image variation. So if you bought a 2018 Topps factory set at a big box store, you would get so many of these retail image variations in the set. This Devers being one of them that you were able to get. And I'm a big believer in his rookie cards. They're not expensive. To me, everybody's buying Juan Soto, which I understand. I'm a Soto fan too, if you've watched, much of the channel. But I think Devers is a sneaky play. He gets streaky. He has problems in the field at times. But his power numbers and, premier hitting ability are not to be ignored. And his cards tend to be available at a fraction of the price of like a Juan Soto, Mike Trout, even Mookie Betts. So big believer in Devers. I've shown a lot of his cards in the past. Have many more that I'll be showing on the channel, hopefully as the season progresses. But for today, I have this nice retail variation rookie. Bought this for $2.10. And last I checked, you can still get these for around $2. So can't recommend that enough. If you're in the market for a cheaper, Devers rookie card pickup, that would be a wise one to buy, in my personal opinion. Here's a cool hockey card. So you guys who are collecting, or gals who are collecting maybe 15 years or so ago, might remember that Upper Deck shortly did a run of Masterpieces sets. They did 2 for baseball, 1 for hockey. I think they did a basketball and a football as well. What I love the most are these brown bordered cards, which are actually framed. So this Stan Mikita is just a nice example. Do search for these on occasion, and will happily pick up any that I don't have at the right price. But again, it's hard to tell here, but the frame is actually raised, the brown frame, off of the card, and the card itself and the artwork is inset within the frame. So it really does give the appeal and the effect of like a picture frame, and it makes these painted cards, it really kind of takes them up a notch, in my opinion. And again, this was available for like less than $1. One of the best Chicago Blackhawks of all time, Stan the Man. Here's one. I didn't realize this was in the stack, and I actually talked about this set when I showed the Pistol Pete. But here's Walt Hazzard of the Buffalo Braves, team that no longer exists. Love the mutton chop sideburns and the mustache here, and the sort of the scowl. Also has some gold necklace on here, a silver necklace, and just an interesting card. This is the set that I was referring to, and I said I'm looking for the Pistol Pete, working on a budget completion quest for this release. This is like the one vintage basketball set I'd like to finish at some point in my life, just because I like the kind of bubble letter design and the close ties to the hockey release that came out the same year from Topps. So happy to add another one in that quest. Getting towards the end here, but I've got 2 different flavors of 1971 baseball. So the first is a buyback card of Dave LaRoche, a 50th anniversary Heritage Box Topper buyback. I've shown these many times, so this will be evaluated for my buyback Frankenset. If it does not win out and make it into the Frankenset binder, I have a separate Z folio where I'm storing all of these Heritage Box Topper buybacks by year, because I've got so many of them. I like the rarity of them coming 1 per hobby box of Topps Heritage, and it's kind of a fun way to recollect the cards of old or the cards of our youth. And so went ahead and scooped that one. I'll generally grab any of these that are like less than $1 that I don't already have. And I think this one was about 75 cents if memory serves. And then sticking with the 71s for a moment, here is an Ed Stroud for the Senators. Now, why would I buy this? I'm not working on a 71 set. I picked this up because it is not a Topps card. It is an O-Pee-Chee card. And I've talked about it maybe once or twice before on the channel, but for those who are unaware, the 71 O-Pee-Chee cards have maybe the greatest card backs of all time, or certainly one of them. So if you look at a 71 Topps card back, it's relatively bland. It's fine. It's got a separate photo on it, which is kind of rare for the time, and stats and all that, but it's not the most exciting or appealing card back. O-Pee-Chee, on the other hand, treated us to bright yellow card backs and floating heads. So that is pretty cool. I think my buddy CW over at Card Wolf may find these disturbing. I know he's not a fan of the big heads or the floating heads, but I really adore 71 O-Pee-Chee just because the backs are so different and vibrant and creative. So I'm always on the lookout to kind of grab some more of these floating head backs. So pretty cool one there. The second to last card in today's video, we've got a nice sapphire here to go with the 2019 Verlander that I showed earlier. This is A-Rod, and what I love about this one, it is from the first ever Topps Chrome Sapphire release in 2016, which is known to be limited to a print run of 250. Although they're not serial numbered, there are only 250 of these bad boys out there. Ponied up more for this one than probably any other card in the video, but still got it for less than $5. And as a admitted Sapphire fanboy, I just couldn't leave an A-Rod behind, even though it is a Yankees card and people have, different opinions about the man. I'm happy to add that one to my Sapphire collection and just couldn't leave it behind at that price point. And then the 20th and final card in today's video, another for my 55 set build and a hometown Boston Red Sox card, Carl Olson, outfielder. Love the old school sock logo. Again, just a really vibrant, beautiful looking card. Yeah, you know what? This upper left corner is not perfect. I get it, but it makes the card affordable. And generally speaking, this is as colorful and vibrant as though it just, spilled out of a pack and we were in the year 1955. I just love it. I think a lot of cards from the 50s probably didn't survive in condition this good. And so to get this for just $1 or $2 and pump up that set build by another number just felt awesome. Again, really clean back here. No issues with the cartoon or the stats. Easily legible. Just right up my alley as far as the condition that I look for with my 55 Topps editions. And so that, along with the one that we saw earlier in today's video, gets me 2 cards closer to a very, very difficult set pursuit that I hope to complete someday in the future. So there is 20 cards, or there are 20 cards from COMC. Got this done in less than 20 minutes. So usually I'm at about a card a minute pace, so I'll take that. I hope you saw something among today's variety that you enjoyed or that interested you. And I will certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, enjoy the hobby and take care.